Alright, so here we start out with another project that's come into the shop. I got a guy that I work with that his buddy tore this thing apart. It started smoking on him, so had a friend take it apart, told him it'd be like $800-900, something like that, to fix it. And he kind of ended up leaving town, and so he just had the full top end pretty much given to him in a box. And he didn't really know where to go with it, so I started talking about work there, and this is where we ended up. He brought me the box full of his whole top end stuff, and I mean, there's just got that, and all of his bolts and everything are sitting over here. So I went through and kind of saw and figured out what he was missing, what he needed, where to go from it. He said he was puking up a lot of oil into the air box, and it was dripping all over the place. So it's kind of what we've got to figure out. So far, all that I know, or my actually first suspicion was that he probably put the oil filter in backwards when he was changing the oil, but I took this one off and the oil filter was installed correctly, but there is a lot of gunk around the seal there on both the case and the filter seal, so that it might have been leaking there, might not. The case might have a crack in it. I don't think it does. So then to spruce it up, this is what we're going to do. I've already put a new valve guides, new valve seals in this thing, new valves on top of that. The head is all cleaned up, the valves are lapped, got a fresh gasket surfaces, new spark plug. Everything is nice and freshened up. That side, the ports are cleaned up. That's pretty much it with the head. The cylinder, I went back into it with I still got to clean that part up, but it's got a fresh 40 over bore, honed and everything, of course. It's looking good, and that is to fit the high compression Weisco piston. And I have used this one before, and I've got some great results with it. I mean, it really bumps up the power, feels like, on the Foreman there. So that is the dome. So along with that, also got him the uni filter because his filter's all janked up. So I got the uni filter, went ahead and got new carburetor with it. Put the new carb. Okay, so the difference in the carburetors, there is a little bit difference, even though it said it's all for the same model and everything, which it is. But like the factory carbs comes with this vacuum right here, which just ties over and then back down in this area. This one's, I mean, it has all the ports and everything with it, but it does not need to go on. Everything is, of course, just blocked off. So always kind of keep an eye also on this cap right here. Make sure that it is pinged down and seated fully. You got that. Everything else is, just same. All the internals are the same. Everything flows the same. So these are really nice carburetors, though, for the price. I've a little bit of tweaking for the price. It gets you a nice carburetor. Okay, so I should have known that an aftermarket carb is just that, an aftermarket carburetor. What they send, I mean, it's hit or miss, I guess, because put the new throttle cable on, it curves down versus coming straight out just like the others. Goes down. Didn't like that to begin with, but it's what came with it. Put it down. This is as far as it goes. To be routed correctly, that's as far as it goes. This is the end that attaches the carburetor. The carburetor sits up here. Big difference. I guess I just should have done this from the get-go. This is both ends up there by the pedal, or throttle cable, whatever. There's the difference in length. It's like me standing next to Kevin. I mean, one is much shorter. So, yeah, back on with the stock OE. I'm thinking this one is still nice and free-flowing. So I got the piston out, and I mean, yeah, it's pretty bad. The whole thing is scored up pretty bad, but I'm not exactly sure if most of this happened like in the process of it burning up, or if it was the cause. Like I said, I wasn't there. I don't know any history behind it other than it's pretty jacked. There is a slight mark right there where you can see that bottom oil ring is pushed up into it. Although that mark looks pretty fresh, maybe the guy that was taking it apart did it. I'm not sure, because there's one there and then one right there. You can see the difference in the dome. And of course, this one will be picked up about level with it. So there is your where the high compression comes in because of the dome there. So yeah, it's gonna make a big difference. It's obviously gonna repel the oil a whole lot better in the cylinder wall. So I got everything prepped, ready to go back on. I got a new O-ring right there on the intake boot. All his rings and everything are gapped properly. Got the rods, which one's end is up. I don't know if this is left or right, so I'm just gonna have to put it back in. Yeah, but I do have, like I said, top and bottom, new gaskets. Figured out where all of his bolts now go. Got them all pieced back together. So here we go. So I got the piston on the crank, got the new gasket on, cleaned up the surfaces, wrist pins in, C-clips are in. Now ready for the cylinder. All right, so we got the cylinder on, and I mean the guy that took this apart didn't take the exhaust off the header, and yeah, I tried, but I mean it was just too much work to try to bust these nuts off and probably get it out of there. So zip tied it back off, but yeah, I mean the cylinder's going on. I just got it set there now. I just got to bolt it down, and yeah, putting a piston on always sucks to get those rings in there. I mean I'm pretty slow at it just because I'm pretty picky, because I mean that's the heart of it. So now I'm gonna do the top end and the head. And I'm sorry I don't have a tripod. My tripod broke, and so you know, just waiting for my other one to get here so I can actually get some, you know, as I'm going videos. Got the head on, got the all the cap nuts and everything torqued down to 29 foot-pounds. I always put a little bit of oil on the washer, the nut, and the rod, because it's just going to help with going down freely. Now next we got to adjust the valves, but everything's fine. Got to clean up those studs real quick, put in the new O-ring for that, and I already got the engine mount on, so about ready to almost start it up. Okay, so the power's out. It just decided to start raining, heavy winds. Like, look at that tree, right over this way. Anyways, but that's not gonna stop me. I wanna hear this thing run here in a few minutes. I got the intake boot on, got the exhaust on, got the exhaust gasket in there. The exhaust is all bolted up. I just set the valves. The valves are set at 0.006. Okay, so the power is still out, but I am ready to start it up, I think. I've got everything torqued down on the top end, all the nuts, bolts, castle nuts, exhaust torqued down. I got the spark plug in there. I've got gas in my little syringe there to feed the carburetor. I've got the crank case vent just put in there, so the airbox is just sitting there. The battery's a little bit dead, so I got the jumper cables running. So we will, we'll see. Okay, so here we go. See what happens. I guess I'll pull the truck out a little bit. First startup. Well, that was pretty dang quick. Honestly, that was the first time I pushed that button. Motor sounds nice and quiet. Carburetor's not bad for the first little, I mean, not tuning or anything, just slapping it on. Alright, well, I'm gonna kill that here. Oh yeah, much better after the choke and kind of warmed up.